Yeah, my name is Andrew Grissom, and I'm one of the pastors on staff here at Christ Church. And I am married to this amazing woman right here, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
My name is Madison Grissom, and I'm a young adult here at Christ Church, and I serve in the recovery ministry, and I'm part of a small group. And I'm also a new therapist here at the Branches location.
We've experienced a lot of transition and change in this season, both from not being married to now being married, job transition with her, and some school finishing up and things like that, as well as being connected with different communities here at the church. And so oftentimes, I think in those seasons of transition, we want to be able to control that. And I think God is teaching me, I know, teaching us even as a couple, that so much of God's movement comes with God's timing. And that is hard, contrary to what the world teaches. But God's timing, while it's not always easy, it's always right. It's always good.
So my sophomore year of college was a little bit of a rough time. I had been walking with the Lord for a while. I grew up in church. I grew up going to youth events, was involved in college ministries and whatnot. But it was about my sophomore year that life just hit the fan for me, and that ended up being a really difficult season. I was struggling with an eating disorder at the time. I had lost a friend, a close friend, and a family member, and I didn't know where to go. And I definitely spent a good amount of time trying to fill the holes in my heart with other things. And it took several months, maybe a year, until I was at the beach one day, and I just felt him calling me over and over again and wanting me to take all of the hardships that I had endured at that point and just lay them down, and to realize that he is still in control. He is still good. And I had enough perspective at that point to see the ways that he was working, even in the struggles. It was about my junior year of college that I probably recommitted my life to the Lord, and just began wanting to know more about him, wanting to live a life that reflected him. And he ended up bringing alongside some really great people within that next year, him being one of them. And I just think the whole time, within the pain and within the struggle, God was preparing me for something much bigger than myself, and to be a part of a body of Christ, to be a part of the kingdom. And he taught me in all of that just how good he is, and how near he is in times of trouble, how near he is to the brokenhearted and to those who are in despair, who are uncertain, and who want to do good but don't know how. He was really faithful every step of the way.
But even then, we still had a road to walk, right? Uncertainty can make us go, what is God doing? And I think I could definitely say there were those moments where I was like, God, I know you're in it, but can you give me a little heads up? Like, can you give me just at least the next step? And I just remember as we were in that season, we would cling to the song Believe For It by CeCe Winans, and those words that when God says it, it is done. And almost saying that in expectation before we could see what was coming. There are moments where I'm like, God, I want to trust you. I trust you. Will you move? I trust you. And God did what only he does. And
I think one of the coolest signs of redemption too is our first Sunday here that Andrew was on staff. We all of a sudden heard the choir start singing Believe For It by CeCe Winans, and just reflected on how good he's been in the waiting and the pain, and how faithful he's been when we had to believe for something we couldn't see yet.
That's good. When everything in the world changes, he always remains the same. And you can trust that.
You don't have to earn it. You don't have to do anything whack or crazy to make God be in the room with you. He's already there. He's already meeting with you, even if you're not aware of it, and that he wants to be there. It's not just him doing that because he thinks that he should. He's your creator, and he's wired you to respond to his spirit and to his heart, and he doesn't just put up with you. He really enjoys you and doesn't just love you, but also likes you.
He looks at you and says, I see you just as you are, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I love you. Now come be with me. And man, as someone who has gotten it wrong a lot in my life, it brings a lot of peace. Man, that's something that brings me a lot of peace, and I hope it would bring you a lot of peace too.